Hello guys, welcome to Java Developers YouTube channel. In previous class, we discussed about the operators and type of operators, and we have discussed with the examples. Today, our class is about inputs and outputs, comments, and naming conventions. Okay, just open the Eclipse and create the class input. Okay, and if you want to, just we go ahead with the outputs. How we get the output? Okay, we are writing some logic, and if you want to fetch the output of that logic, then we are going to use what system.out.println, which is the output statement. If you want to see the any output, what is the syntax or what is the statement we are going to use here? We are going to use system.out.println, right? It comes under the output. And if you want to take inputs, right, and we have the 8 primitive data types like byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean, and we have the string, which is a non-primitive data type, right? Each of those primitive data types will have those some input methods. Okay, they cannot be called it directly. Okay, we can call those methods by using the scanner class. Take the scanner sc is equals to new scanner and then system dot in. Okay, that's all about how we are writing the code for the scanner class. Scanner is a predefined class and sc is the reference. New scanner creating the object, then asking the user to enter the input. Okay, by using the keyboard we are entering the inputs. Okay, system dot in. Okay, and this scanner class is presented in Java util package. Okay, if you want to access total what are the classes presented in the util, instead of scanner you can place the asterisk. Okay, then by default what are the things which are presented in the util, they can be used perfectly. Okay, just see the example for the purpose I was told you. List. Okay, again it was saying that inside the util package we have the list. Okay, instead of that if I take asterisk, there is no line, other line is not created here, that is import java.util.list, because everything what are presented inside the util we can access by using the asterisk. Okay, it's a simple way, but for the beginning level we can use the scanner. Okay, it's a scanner class used to enter the asking the user to enter the input values. Basically, as the first one we go ahead with the byte. Okay, asking the user enter the byte value. Okay, we are asking the user to enter the byte value, but we need to call the method, right? I mean, you are telling the user enter the byte value. Okay, how user can enter that? Okay, that can be possible by nextByte method. NextByte, and also assign the value and store that in the particular return data type should be the byte, because the user is entering the byte type of data. So we need to catch that entered value in a variable, right? What is the return type of it? I mean, what is the type of variable we are going to use? As Java is a statically typed language, we need to enter the data type too. Okay, as a user is entering the byte value, we need to store that in the byte data type, right? Yeah, after entering we need to print that as user entered it in, we are storing in the variable of nextByte, which is a byte type. We need to fetch that variable to the output, I mean outside. So you are calling the nextByte. Okay, or instead of println use print and just run it. Enter the value 10. Okay, this is a byte type. As a byte we have the method nextByte. We are taking the reference from the scanner class, because this method is presented inside of that scanner class, so we are using that reference. After the byte you will be having the short data type, and ask the user enter the short value. Okay, just remove the ln. You can use the ln, but it will comes in the next line. So for good looking purpose, I was taking the print only. Okay, next short. Okay, take it. What is the method we are calling here for the short type? Next short, right? And store that with the short type of data type with the variable of next short, and just print it by using variable. Okay, next int. Okay, ask the user, enter the int value. Okay, ask the user, enter the int value. sc dot nextInt is a method. We need to store that in the next int data type. Again, we are printing the user entered value that is stored in the int, right? Long. Okay, enter the long value. Okay, enter the long value. Just remove the ln and sc dot next long, and then store that in the long type variable, and just print the variable that is next long. Okay, after that float. Okay, just ask the user, enter float value. Okay, then sc dot next float, and store that in the float data type as a variable, and then float data type and variable. Let's print the variable where you have stored the value of user entered. Okay, then you have to call the double. So ask the user, okay, enter the double value. Okay, then sc dot next double, and store that in the same data type with a variable, and just print the stored value in the that variable. Okay, and let's go ahead with boolean. Okay, just ask the user, enter the boolean value. Okay, ask the user to enter the boolean value, and just sc dot next boolean. Okay, then catch that with the same return type, and that means data type with the variable, and print that variable. Okay, just see this. Okay, ln just remove the ln. Okay, here it's all belongs to the numbers category up to the double, right? That may be the including numbers without decimals or with decimals, but even though they belongs to the category of numbers. Okay, as a byte they have the next byte, as a short they will be having the next short, as a int they will be having next int, as a long they will be having next long, float will be having the next float, and double will be having the next double, boolean will be having the next boolean. If I run this, enter the value. Okay, I have entered the value, byte value 10, enter the short value 20, enter the int value 30, enter the long value 40, enter the float value. If I enter only the float without decimal points, it by default it will take the dot zero. If I enter double value without any decimal points, it will take the 0. If I enter the boolean value, that will give the boolean output. I mean, we are enter the true, that will give the true. Okay, that's all about the data types, and we have one more thing, that is char and boolean. Okay, just take the int data type, just remove this. It's a single line comment. Okay, we'll discuss the comments too, but okay, and just assume that there is no int type, and I want to use the char type, right? Just ask the user, enter the char value, then sa dot next line dot charAt of 0. Okay, then store that with the same data type with a variable, then print it, that is charAt. Okay, if I run this, it's going to ask about enter the character value, that is a. It was printing a. That's good. Okay, but if I uncomment this, if I run the code, it was asking the value 10, and you are going to see the string index out of bounds exception. Okay, because what we are doing here, first we are entering the value steps. What we are performing here, first we are entering the into it. It was asking enter the int value. I was entering the value, that is 10, then using the clicking enter button, right? Clicking enter button, by default the character was taking that value. Okay, the character is taking the you are pressing the enter value, that will be taking as default. I mean, it was taking that it is the character that entered by the user, but there's a character, it's consisting only the one char, I mean one digit, I mean one alphabet, so that will give us string out of bounds exception. So if you want to overcome that, if you want to clear that buffer, okay, just use sc dot, okay, next line, then if you are running that, now buffer will be cleared, entering the value, then enter the value, you will getting, because after entering the 10 we are going to press the enter for the next command, right? That enter is by default char will be taking as an input, that will be getting as string index out of bounds exception. So to minimize that, we are going to clear this buffer, and we are giving the fresh line, and we are entering the value, that will be taking as a character value, then we are getting the output. Okay, same. Okay, it's a single line comments. I mean, if you are placing slash slash, it's a single line comment. If I want to comment multiple lines, star slash star star slash, this comes under the multi-line comments. Okay, multiple lines are commented by using the slash star and star slash. Okay, if I want to use, okay, if I want to use string, okay, what will happen now? String, as you are entering, enter name. Okay, enter name. Okay, just like println and sc dot next. Okay, then we are using the next, and I want to print it. Okay, I want to print it with the next. Okay, what will happen now? Without anything, we are starting the fresh. Nothing is there before and after this string, so it was asking enter the name, right? I was entered the name as John. Okay, if I again rerun that, if I entered John, Grisham. What is the output we are going to get while using the next method? It was taking only the first word. The second word is not taken by the next method. The capability of next method is that taking only the first word. Okay. And if I want to get that total, okay, if I want to get that total, we are going to use, again, you are asking the user, enter name, okay, then sa dot next line, okay, sorry, yeah, sa dot next line, and storing that with the string data type with the variable, and we are printing the next line. Okay, just rerun that. If I entered John, okay, it was getting the John. If I rerun the code after modifying the code from the next to the next line, we are doing this, and John Grisham, right, we are getting the total sentence. That is a combination of words. Okay, if we can overcome that by using the next line. Okay, based on the usage, we are going to use the type of methods in the strings. Okay, what will happen if I uncommented the, what will happen if I uncomment the int values? Okay, just rerun the code. Okay, just understand the code. First, I have the user is asking enter the int value. Then after the entering the int value, I was clicking the enter. Then the JVM comes to the line number 24. It was asking the enter the name. Okay, just see that what will happen. Enter the value as 10. I was entered and pressing the enter. Name, by default, here name is not taking by the input type of this string because of buffer. Okay, if you want to clear that buffer, sa dot next line. Okay, just rerun now. Enter the value as 10 and enter the name. The name is John Grisham. Okay, it was giving. Okay, the while using char and string type of data, we need to clear the buffer. Before that, any type of inputs is there, we need to clear that buffer, and after that only we are compatible of writing the code to the char type and string data types. Okay, that's all about the different type of inputs we are taking from the primitive and non-primitive data types, and we have completed with the comments. As a single line comments, we need to use the slashes. As a multi-line comments, we need to use the starting should be slash star, ending should be star slash. Okay, and coming to the naming conventions, it can be the PascalCase, and other one is CamelCase. Okay, what is PascalCase? Naming a class like demo class. Okay, it's a just length of word. Okay, it's a PascalCase. Okay, that means the first letter is starting with the capital, or second word first letter is starting with the capital, third word starting with the capital. Any next word first letter always should be the capital. That is a PascalCase. Okay, first letter starts with the capital. Whereas CamelCase, we are going to write a method name like play. Okay, and we are going to play with friend. It's a method, right? I mean, what is happening here? First letter is smaller case, that is lower case, and next word is starting with the uppercase. That comes under the CamelCase. Okay, it's all about naming conventions and variable names as we used here. Okay, the variable names same like first, it should be following same like CamelCase. Just follow it. Yeah, that's all about the today's topic. Input data types, input and outputs, comments, and naming conventions. That's all about today's videos. And if you have any doubt, just comment me below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.